Well, as parents gear up for back to school, everybody's focused on buying notebooks and pens and pencils and clothing, as we just saw. But there are also some other important things to keep in mind. Our next guest says that nutrition and physical activity are just as important to education. Heidi Harkoff, our good friend, registered dietitian from New England Food and Dairy Council, joins us live in studio. Always good to see you, Heidi.
Thanks.
Welcome back.
You know, you're right on. Pens and pencils are important, but every year there is more and more science that's showing us how crucial nutrition and physical activity is to the learning process. And so we really want to be sure we are able to fuel our kids for greatness.
And you are doing that in studio here with some examples. So why don't you break it down for us?
This is an example of how you can really fuel a kid for the day. This will really equip them to be ready to learn. It's so important that they start their day with breakfast.
Most important meal of the day, right?
It is.
As they say.
Your mother used to tell you that, and science is showing that that's true. And lunch, you want to aim for whole grains in all of your meals, a lot of produce at breakfast, produce at lunch, dinner, and 3 servings of low-fat, fat-free dairy a day. But you know, as a parent, I can tell you mornings are really rushed, and getting your child out of the house with breakfast and lunch packed can be daunting sometimes. However, schools have great school meal programs. Almost all our schools in Connecticut have a lunch program, and they must meet very strict government guidelines. So when you have your child eat lunch at school, they're getting produce at every meal, they're getting low-fat, fat-free dairy, and they're getting all their whole grains, whole grain rich. And more schools are coming on board with school breakfast, so that can really take the pressure off in the morning, send your child to school, and you know they're going to get a balanced breakfast, probably something better than even served at home.
That's great. I remember growing up in Latchkey. It was the same situation for me. That was like my favorite time of day, eating breakfast there at school. And it's exciting because you guys are working with Play 60, which works with the NFL. You're doing some great work there. Right.
We joined forces with the NFL. Our dairy farm families of Connecticut and across the country have joined up with the NFL to bring Fuel Up to Play 60 into schools. And that's a student-led wellness program where we really try to get students to lead other students to make the changes, because, you know, kids will listen to kids more than they'll listen to us. And so I want to show you some examples of our great student leaders here in Connecticut.
Let's see, we have 3 students here.
This is Ivana. Ivana is in high school, and she's made great strides at helping her fellow high school mates choose healthy foods and get more exercise every day. We also have another student ambassador, who is William, and William is here with Duron Harmon from the New England Patriots, and Melissa Greenbacker is a Connecticut dairy farmer, and they're recognizing him for all his great efforts that he's done in his community to bring fitness and nutrition to his community.
That's wonderful.
And our newest ambassador coming on board this September is Zaid, and Zaid's here with Duron Harmon as well. She got to join him for a dinner this summer because her school made great achievements with Fuel Up to Play 60, and they're being recognized. So she's our newest ambassador. And so when we have these kids, they're able to talk to other kids. They can actually help bring breakfast programs. William did that in his school, brought a breakfast program in, as well as a smoothie program. And what's great about Fuel Up to Play 60 is that schools can actually apply for funds to kickstart some of these activities.
How much money would schools be getting from this type of program?
So our Dairy Farm Families of Connecticut and the NFL are providing up to $4,000 per school building.
Jeez.
And that's actually every year. So if they have a great idea, we support permanent changes in the buildings. That's things like bringing a smoothie in to the buildings, because kids love smoothies at breakfast.
And $4,000, I'm sure, goes a long way in that type of situation.
You can get an industrial-sized smoothie blender, for example. We had a school in East Hartford, the Anna E. Norris School, that just started smoothies, and kids love participating in the breakfast program now. And it's a great time for kids to be social with each other and to be really fueled up and ready to start the day.
Good stuff, Heidi. And if you're interested in getting your school involved, or some of your students at your school in the Play 60 program, head on over to NewEnglandDairyCouncil.org. Heidi, always nice to have you here live in studio. Always excellent tips, and good luck this year with your kids heading on back to school.
That's right. We'll be fueling greatness this year.
Are they excited?
They are excited.
I'm sure they're really excited for it. Teresa, we're going to send things over to you. It smells good over there in the kitchen.